So we're going to make our pressed flower keychains with using handcrafted UV resin and our little silicone molds. A thing about molds is you want the clear molds when using UV resin, because UV resin just comes with the one bottle, and that's because it requires a UV light to cure it. And so the clear molds allow the light to go in and cure all sides, whereas like the green molds or the colored molds, then the light can only get from the top and it may not cure completely all around. And if it does, it's going to take a lot longer, many times under the light, to let the light penetrate to get down into all the areas. So you can tell I've been reusing my cup and my sticks. As long as it's cured, it's not going to hurt anything. You can reuse them fine. I'm going to put a little bit of this in my cup because I want to use some of the sparkle glitter. Now you can use coloring with UV resin. The best kind would be to use opaque, something that isn't completely solid, because the again, the light has to penetrate it. Try this again. There we go. So I'm just going to put a little bit in my cup. I don't need too much. So what I'm going to do is, because it may take a little bit to cure it with the glitter, I'm just going to put a little bit in. I'm going to mix my glitter in, and I'm just going to put a layer on the bottom of my mold. And I'm going to cure that, because if it takes many times under the UV light, I don't want to be subjecting my flower to any more UV light than necessary. So just pour a little bit in till it's whatever I think is good. Take my stick. Now I got way too much glitter in, so I'm going to add more resin to thin it out so it will actually pour into my mold. The best type of coloring, they do make UV colorant. They make colored UV resin. If you don't want to add color, you can just buy the ready-made colored resin, or they make dyes or mica powders or different things that you can tint the resin with. Okay, now I'm just going to put a small layer in the bottom of my mold. You can do this with just all clear resin too, and it's like the flower is floating in the middle and can be seen front and back on both sides. That works really good too. Now I'm going to use my toothpick. Not sure if you can kind of see here. It's got it about half full, but I'm not done spreading it around, so it might be less than that when I'm done. There's the little tab in the middle that's going to be the hole, so the mold already comes with a pre-made hole so you can hang it. So I'm just going to make sure that it gets back in there around that. And you can use, this is a good time can use your toothpick to clear out any bubbles you might see. You can pick those out and wipe them off on a napkin. There's one there. Sometimes when you bring them to the top, they just burst too, but you just pull it out with your toothpick and wipe it off, and you're good to go again. You want to make sure the bubbles, if there's bubbles, they're most likely stuck down where the edges come up or in the corners. Hope you can see that. We'll focus. So now I'm going to cure that layer so that I can do it as much as I need to. So put it under my light, turn it on. I'm just going to let it run the full time that the lamp will do, and then I'll test it. So that's cured enough to work with. It will keep curing as we go as well. So now I'm just going to take and put another thin layer of just the clear. Just a very small layer. And this is what I'm going to stick my flower on. If you fill the whole thing and you put your flower in, then it is a good chance that your flower will just float to the top. So if you just put this, I'm just covering everything. Spreading it around again. So I'm just putting enough down to glue the flower in place, so then it won't float to the top, and I can easily put a layer over the top of it to seal it in. And you can move your flower around, but touch in the center and do it very carefully, or on the edge of the petal. Don't start poking right on the petals themselves, because you can damage it and it will create what will look like a wet spot on your flower. So that's just sitting on the very top. Of the clear resin. I've moved it so it's kind of floated. But once I get it positioned where I want it, I'm going to put it under the light. And I'm really looking to just tack the flower in place. So I'm just gonna leave it a little time. I probably won't go the whole length, because again, I don't want to expose my flower to any more UV light than I need to. So we're going to try that. I'm just going to test the flower to see, yeah, it's no longer just floating around anymore. So now I can just put a clear coat of UV resin on top and seal it in. And with your final coat, you want to go right to the top of your mold. And this is the little bit of the tricky part. You want to go to the top of your mold, but you need to be careful that it doesn't overflow. You can sand it and clean it up, but it does create quite a bit of work to make it look nice. So put some in and then let it level. And again, I've got 2 bubbles right here that I'm going to try and pick out. These ones are quite large, and if I can get them to the top of the resin, then I can use a lighter and just quickly go over it, and it popped the bubbles. You don't want to hold it there too long because you can hurt your mold and you could also burn the resin. But if the bubbles are not up to the top, then they won't pop. So you first need to bring them up to the top if you want to use the lighter. But the smaller bubbles, you can usually you get under them and you just lift them and they stay stuck to your toothpick. You wipe it off and you can go back and get another one. Again, you want to make sure it goes around the little post there, but try not to make it go over the post or you won't have your hole. You'll have to drill your hole. Sometimes getting down at table level or looking at it from different angles will also let you know, you can see where it is if it's doming over the edge, or if there's a bubble stuck somewhere, especially around these edges. It has this surface tension, so it will hold onto there as long as it doesn't get wet. It's kind of like filling a cup really full and the water hangs on. But then if you put too much, it will just all of a sudden overflow. So you want to go slow and just add a little bit at a time. And you might get a bubble at the end of your thing. So I'm just putting 1 drop at a time and then waiting for it to level. Then I'm looking to see if it's doming. I want to dome it a little bit, so it'll give it a nice round finish. If you don't dome it, when it dries, when it cures, it can kind of shrink back and leave a little bit of a sharp lip on the sides. So if you can dome it, then it doesn't do that. Bubble then just went down. And if you have spots where the petals overlap or spots in the center of the flower that can trap air, you want to give that time to let the bubbles out. Because as it cures, the resin gets warmer and those bubbles will find their way out where you didn't see them before. Now you will see them and it's cured. So you just have patience and take your time. think that's good. Put your cap on before you turn your light on, because anything that is exposed to the light will cure. Put it under the light, and I'm gonna let that go the full time. You want to be very careful when testing it, because you don't want to, it still feels a little tacky, but you don't want to put marks in it. So I'm going to do it one more time just to be safe. Now I'm just going to check it, make sure it's domed. Because if you're going to add another layer, like you might find Handcrafter UV resin has very little shrinkage, but it does seem to climb the edges of the molds a little bit. And so if you need to add another layer, you want to do that before you break the seal on the side. So you can just inspect it and look at it and see if it's concaved or if there's anything. Maybe there was a big bubble there that you didn't catch, or it floated to the top that you can fill in, or anything like that. You want to do and make sure it's cured before you peel the sides away, because it won't go back to how it was. So this is nice and cured. So now what I'm going to do is just, because of the glitter, I'm not sure this bottom part where it was sitting on the table has cured. So I'm going to put it in actually upside down, and I'm going to let that sit under the light to make sure that that is fully cured before I pull it out. And the nice part about this is you can put as many as you can fit under the light and have them curing. So you could be working on multiple pieces at once. Okay, now I'm going to demold it and we're going to take a look. So you just start by peeling the edges off, loosening that up. And you should be able to just peel it back. And there's our, it could be a pendant for a necklace. You could make earrings, you just, whatever you attach to them there to hang them. We're going to make keychains. So we have this, you can put, it has a split ring on it. So you can put that on your keys. There's also this one that has a little lobster claw hook. And this would be nice. You could just clip it on your bag, your purse. You could clip it on your keys too, but they both work the same way with this loop. So we're just gonna bring this to the end and pinch it together. And we're going to feed it through that hole that the mold had made. I got it a little bit too much, and a little bit of resin has come over the hole on this side. So it's not quite as big as I need it to be. That's why you want to be careful that you don't overfill it. try this one because my hole is too small because I overfilled it. I might end up drilling it out, but there we go. Okay, so you slide it through and then you just fold it back and slip the loop over the keyring part, and then pull it tight. Like that. Just position this where you want it. Then you have a nice key ring. They can also be zipper pulls for jackets, bags, purses, really anything you want. They just have two different ways of attaching.